Awesome. All right, we're going to get started. Welcome everyone to the St. Ignatius College Prep College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share information about their institution, but they will be around for the entire session to answer your questions. My name is Chelsea and I will be your facilitator for the evening. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you, but you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check the schedule on the website. If you missed or want to come back to one of the presentations, they all are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Ignatius. And now I'm going to turn it over to our first presenter, and that is DePaul University.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessie Heinrich. I'm one of the assistant directors in the Office of Admission at DePaul. I'm going to share my screen here. I have a couple of slides to share with you all. If I can get all of the Zoom control bars out of the way. But thanks for being here today. I know at St. Ignatius, you all are local, so you may know a little bit about DePaul already, maybe be a bit familiar with our campuses. But for those of you who may not be, DePaul has two main campuses. So you don't apply to one campus or the other, but I like to give you an overview of the layout and sort of the campus environment that you can expect as a DePaul student. And the slide up right now does a good job of showing the two different types of campuses that you get as a DePaul student. So the foreground of this picture is our Lincoln Park campus, kind of your more traditional college campus vibe. It's a little bit of a more residential area up here in Lincoln Park, even though you're in a young, fun neighborhood still. It's about 1 square mile of DePaul only space. You see our soccer and softball fields, the Fullerton train stop, a residence hall with St. Vincent de Paul's face on it. And like I said, Lincoln Park just kind of has that expanse. You can hop on that Fullerton train stop and be down to our Loop campus in 5 stops. The Loop campus is a much more urban campus environment, so you really get that city school feel. All of the DePaul spaces on the Loop campus are housed in about 1 square block, about 5 skyrise buildings. So they are very different environments, but that way you kind of get the best of both worlds at DePaul. The Loop campus, which you can sort of see in the background of this slide, is home to our business and business related programs. So that includes the Driehaus College of Business, the College of Communication, and the College of Computing and Digital Media. You would all spend time on the Lincoln Park campus regardless of your major, because that's where your general education, liberal studies courses will be offered, home to our College of Liberal Arts, but also our colleges of science and health, education, and our theater and music schools as well. Across all of those academic colleges that I just mentioned, we have over 130 majors, over 300 academic programs when you throw in all of the academic minors and certificate programs in there. A little bit about DePaul's size overall and who we are as a university more generally. We have about 22,000 total students, 15,000 undergraduates. So that makes DePaul the largest Catholic school in the country. You don't feel like you're at that large of a school when you're at DePaul because our student to faculty ratio is 15:1. So your average class size is around 20, 22 students. You're never going to sit in a 100, 200 person lecture hall at DePaul. Your largest class would maybe be 40 or 50 students, and that's really exclusive to some of the introductory science courses with lab breakout sessions. In that 15,000 undergrad student population, we have all 50 states and over 110, different countries represented on campus. So you really meet people from the Chicagoland area, but also everywhere else. That undergraduate student population is about 40% out-of-state students, 60% in-state students, and about 1/3 of our freshman class every year is from the Chicagoland area. If you are just beginning the college search process, some of our most popular majors at DePaul, you can see in this bottom right-hand corner of the screen right here, that includes our film and television programs. That's our fastest growing major at DePaul. Also, health sciences, it's a really popular option for students who are considering a professional health program after graduation. Accounting in our College of Business, psychology, and computer science are also popular options. But of course, as I said, there are many others. For those of you who are a little bit further along and a little bit closer to the application stage in the search process, just so you know, DePaul uses the Common Application exclusively. There's no application fee, so it doesn't cost you anything to apply. DePaul has also been test optional for 10 years now. So we were test optional long before COVID and will be test optional in the years to come. You're still eligible for all of the same academic scholarships and all of that good stuff. If you have any additional questions about that policy, we're always happy to talk you through it. Any questions you have in general, happy to answer as many as I can today. I'll also share my contact information in the chat for any questions that you all have moving forward. Thanks for having me and joining this evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have Lake Forest College.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa Ramirez. I am the admission counselor at Lake Forest College. To give everyone an added glance of Lake Forest College, we are not too far from St. Ignatius. We are only 30 miles north of Chicago, so we are in the northern suburbs of Illinois. We do have about 1,600 students, so we are on the small side. About 55% of our students were from out of state this past fall. Our students are also earning up to $32,000 in merit-based scholarship, and we have a 98% career placement rate. So what that means is our students are figuring out whether they are pursuing their furthering their education or finding employment within 6 months of graduation. At Lake Forest, we are a small private liberal arts college, so we really rely on a real-world application. At Lake Forest, our students can complete up to 3-4 credit internships while they are at the college. And a lot of our students do engage in research opportunities with their professors, such as the Richter Scholar Program after their first year at the college. The Richter Scholar Program allows them to do internship opportunities, again, with their professors the summer before their sophomore year. And we do have over 200 study abroad options for our students to choose from. We also have a program called In the Loop, where our students can spend a semester in downtown Chicago living with other Lake Forest College students for the purpose of completing a 4-credit internship. The Activate program is very similar, it's just during the summer. This will allow our students to complete our experiential learning requirement as part of our Forester fundamental curriculum. At Lake Forest, all of our students are assigned a career advisor from the very first day they step foot on campus. We have 5 unique career pathways that matches our students' interests. For example, we have the law and public service pathway for students that are interested in the social sciences. We also have EBF for econ, business, and finance. We also have health and science pathway, and a creative arts and communication pathway. We also have a build your own. Our students can be part of more than one pathway depending on their academic interests and majors. We also have a very popular career preparation event in the fall for our students that are interested in meeting with employers. It's called Speed Networking, where our students are initially just, speed dating with employers essentially. To talk a little bit about diversity on campus, about 16% of our students are international and 31% are domestic students of color. And then we have about 14% of our students that are transfer students. We also have built-in support, and our Office of Intercultural Relations offers a pre-orientation program called First Connection, which is for traditionally underrepresented students. This may include international students, students of color, and first-generation students. We also have various empowerment groups on campus based on our students' identity. At the Health and Wellness Center, our students can go for individual and group therapy, and the Center for Academic Success is the go-to place for accommodations where our students can request throughout their time at the college. At Lake Forest, our students can earn up to 2 majors and 1 minor, or 1 major and 2 minors. Some more popular majors include biology, business, communication, economics, finance, and psychology. But our students can also create their own major called self-design major. For example, we actually have a student that is graduating with a self-design major of social justice, which we normally only have a minor of. Our students at Lake Forest also have to complete a first year studies class, which essentially just allows them to get acclimated to the campus during their first semester at the college. We have over 70 student clubs and organizations for our students to choose from, and we are a D3 school. More than 50% of our students participate in some sort of intramural, varsity, or club athletics. We are test optional, and again, our students are receiving up to $32,000 in merit-based scholarship. It's going to be based on their GPA or test scores if they choose to submit them. We also have a program called Forester Flagship, where our qualified in-state first year and transfer students can receive up to 100% of the college tuition covered in grants and scholarships. We also have support for undocumented students, where our students can receive up to $40,000 annually at Lake Forest. So overall, what is going on that is new at Lake Forest? We just renovated a new building called Brown Hall, which is found at the center hub of our campus that we call Middle. It has new academic space for our students to have class in and social gatherings. And overall, we also have a varsity lacrosse, which is new this past fall, 2021, which is a men and women's team, which we have also added a new turf field and new locker rooms that we like to show off a little bit. And we have partnered with Rosalind Franklin University of Medicine and Science, which is only a 10-minute drive from our campus, where students can take seminar work and participate in various healthcare career pathways, which we call HPP. We always invite our students to visit during a personal visit or take a virtual tour if they're unable to make it to campus. And you could just find my info as well here, but I could always just share it in the chat. Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, next up we have Loyola University, Chicago.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adam Buller. I'm one of the assistant directors in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions at Loyola. Let me bring up my screen right now and share it with you. So just to get started, actually, we're going to flip back one here. So we are your Jesuit school that's just up the road from you. We're Chicago's only Jesuit university. Loyola is definitely a mid-sized school. I, as a proud alumni of the school, I fell in love with the size of it. It was a perfect balance of smaller class sizes where the average class is about 26 students. So you say hi to your professors as you walk to class. You're going to know them by name, but then you still get to have some of the social life of a bigger school. So we're D1 in athletics. All the games are free to attend. There's 250 different clubs, student groups to join and get involved in as well. And it's a really, really diverse campus, just reflecting Chicago itself. So about half of the students from Loyola are coming from somewhere outside of Illinois. That represents also about 120 countries. Like my best friends in college were from California. They were from St. Louis. I had people in my floor in freshman year that was from Spain and China. We also have that ethnic and cultural diversity. We have about 46% of our students identify as being students of color on campus. And so we want to make sure that everyone has a home and sees themselves here on campus. So we have a really active Office of Student Diversity and Multicultural Affairs, as well as different cultural student groups and organizations, mentorship programs to just make sure that everyone has a smooth transition to college. We are a Jesuit Catholic school, and that is really in every part of our campus, but you're going to see about 55% of our students are on campus are Catholic, 45% are not. So you have this great blend of people coming from different backgrounds, and being a Jesuit school, Loyola really wants to celebrate those differences too. So you have the largest student-run mosque in Illinois on campus. You have a puja praise for Hindu students. You have a really active halal and kosher kitchen, but then you also have extension of Kairos as a retreat for those students who did it in high school and want to continue it on in college too. Now, this is just a snapshot of the schools and colleges. We have 80 different programs. I'm going to come back to this in a second, but there are a lot of different programs at Loyola, with the most popular being the health sciences, especially for those students that might be thinking those competitive health programs after graduation, nursing, but then also those undergraduate business programs are also really popular as well. But where this happens and takes place, the Lakeshore Campus is our main campus in Chicago. So this is the main base for where student life really takes place in the northernmost neighborhood of the city. So we're in Rogers Park, about 25 minutes away from downtown, and this is much more of a traditional college campus. So this is where all student life really starts off. We want students to plant their roots and have a space where it really feels almost like a small town campus where you have a student community, you feel connected to that. And so this is where your general liberal arts requirements are going to be. It's also home to the College of Arts and Science, nursing, the School of Environmental Science and Sustainability, as well as the School of Health Science and Public Health. And this is where also our residence halls are. So about 85 to 90% of our students live on campus for their first 2 years. But again, like I said, like Chicago kind of disappears when you're on campus. And then whenever you want the rest of the city, you walk right across the street and there's the red line, the train line that takes you out throughout the rest of the city of Chicago. But Loyola also has its Water Tower campus, and this is in the Gold Coast. So the kind of the flip side of Chicago, where it's that big city metropolitan vibe. This is home to our School of Business, Communication, Education, and Social Work. Classes where now as a student, you can do internships during the school year. You don't have to wait to the summertime. You also get to learn from faculty that are working at jobs in the city and then coming to teach you on campus. So those are your inroads for internships, for tons of different professional opportunities as well. But you're still going to have some places on this campus that make you feel connected to that student life and student community here. One of the biggest parts that I always want to shout out is we are a research school. So that means your professors do research, they publish, but at Loyola, they also are required to teach undergraduate classes. That means that your professors came to Loyola because they wanted to work with you. And you see this as you talk to students when they talk about where they found their research, how they got their internship, how they figured out what they were interested in studying. It was because they went into office hours. We're top 50 in the country for undergraduate instruction. It is something that speaks so much to the most important conversations that I had at Loyola and in college was stepping into office hours and having someone who really cared about how I was doing overall as a student. So that is where I saw that Jesuit ideal really take place front and foremost too. Also, just you're going to have some flexibility and time to figure out your major. Everybody at Loyola is going to take part in this liberal arts commitment. So you're going to take a little bit of everything before you graduate. That's going to give you a little bit of extra time and some breathing room to try something out. If it's not the right fit, great, switch your mind. You also see students pick up a minor or double major so many times because you stumbled into a class or an area that you never got a chance to take in high school and then become super excited about in college too. So there is so much of this flexibility that college is meant to help you figure out what you want to do in that next step afterwards too, and help you figure out what kind of person you want to be. And then lastly, the other thing that I want to highlight as a unique feature at Loyola is just how important, how much we really want you to study abroad if that's something you're interested in. 1 in 3 students at Loyola is going to travel abroad by the time they graduate. And so that is something that we have 150 programs to offer you that option. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer those, and I will pass it off to St. Xavier.
Perfect, thank you. All right, we have St. Xavier University next.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. My name is Julie. I'm a freshman admission counselor at St. Xavier University. Happy to answer any questions throughout or at the end, and my contact information is at the end as well. So feel free to take that down. So we are a smaller school. We only have about just under 3,200 undergraduate students. If you're looking for a smaller school, that's definitely something we offer. Despite being a smaller school, we do have 61 undergrad programs that we can offer to our students. We have a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of about 23, 24 students, with 76% of our faculty with the terminal degrees within their fields. We are very transfer friendly as well, so I do like to let students know if you are considering a community college first and then want to transfer in after your time there, you're more than welcome to do so. We're also very transfer friendly for our veteran students. So we do participate in the Yellow Ribbon program for students coming back from the military. Here's some information about our students. You can kind of get an idea of who we serve. About 44% of our students are of Hispanic background, so we are a Hispanic serving institution. You can kind of see the breakdown off to the side there of our student groups. We do also serve a lot of first generation students, so about 2/3 of our population is first gen, and the majority of our students are commuters. So we do have a very lively residence life setting, but the majority of our students are commuting back and forth. And then on the far side there, you can also see the male to female breakdown. Interestingly enough, we have more female students on campus. Way back in 1846, when we were founded by the Sisters of Mercy, we were founded as a school for women. And for whatever reason, that still kind of carries with us to have majority female students. Here's a list of all of our major programs. You can get more information online about these as well. So if you were interested in speaking with any faculty or staff within these areas, if you go to our academics page on our website, you can find more information about the contact information, as well as the makeup of the majors as well. Off to the side, you can also see some minor programs that we offer. A lot of the majors you can also minor in. There's also pre-professional options. So if any of you are thinking of areas such as pre-med or pre-law, those are very popular at St. Xavier. We also offer athletics. If you are junior, senior this year, this is a great opportunity or a great time to kind of reach out to the coaches and see what kind of recruitment and scholarship opportunities are available. We have all of these athletics sports that are listed here. If you're not playing at the varsity level, there are still opportunities to get involved on campus through intramurals and different club team sports that come up throughout the semesters. Outside of athletics, we do have over 40 student organizations. So these are all student run, very involved on campus, a lot of great things coming out of our student organizations. Students can RSVP for different events and things that are going on campus through the Den, which is linked at the bottom of the page there. Students can create their own organizations. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity in that area as well. Even though we are a smaller school, we do have on-campus housing options. Students have a few options for housing. If you know other students who are coming into the university, you're welcome to stay with them. You can name them on your contract, or you can go in with a random roommate. You'll be assigned based on a questionnaire that you fill out. And there's a lot of great support in the res halls. So students will be eligible for scholarship opportunities at the time of admission. So if you are a senior right now, we are still accepting applications. Any juniors on the call today, you can apply this coming fall, and then we will consider you for a scholarship again right at the time of admission. These do range from $14,000 to $21,000 each year, and they're based on GPA and class rank. I do also have some information on this page about transfer scholarships. So again, as we were kind of talking about earlier, we are very transfer friendly. So if you do end up at a different 2-year institution, 4-year institution, or in the military, we're very transfer friendly if you're coming out of any of those. And then on the far side, there's additional scholarships in the areas of art, music, and athletics. And our office is always happy to answer any questions about those and get you in contact with the correct personnel to go forth with those scholarships according to different auditions and recruitment opportunities. FAFSA is still open. If you're a senior, definitely get that in. Juniors, you can work on that this coming fall. If you're looking to apply, they're always free applications. We'll only need your official documents, high school transcripts, no test score required. But if you have taken it, it will only be used in a beneficial way to make a decision for you. It will never harm you in the decision process. And here's our contact info. The Office of Admission is available throughout the week, Monday through Friday. And my direct contact is listed here too. So if you'd like to give me a call or send me an email at any time, definitely feel free to do so. Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to speaking with you if you do have any questions.
Thanks so much. All right, next up we have Viterbo University.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Porter. I'm a member of our undergraduate admissions team. Here at Viterbo University. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Are you all able to see the slides here?
Looks great.
Okay, cool. So for those of you that have not heard of Viterbo University before, we are a small private Catholic university. We are located in La Crosse, Wisconsin, kind of on the western side of the state. At a glance, you can see some of our fast facts, our numbers. We do have that 99.7% job placement rate. So those who are graduating are able to find a job within 6 months of their graduation date. You can see we're a relatively small campus, about 2,500 total students strong. About 1,800 of those would be undergraduate. Again, small school, average class size, really small, about 16. I've heard the range from current students being anywhere from 60 to 70, all the way down to like 8 to 10. So if you want to go to a school, you're going to get to know your professors very well on a first name basis. Viterbo is definitely a school to consider. We'll talk about some of our academic programs as well later on. I also think it's really worth noting that we also have over 80 different student organizations and activities. So there's a lot to do on this campus. And we'll talk in a second here about some of the really fun things going on outside of campus in the La Crosse community. I also think it's really important to note that about 1/3 of all of our students do participate in athletics. So if you are a student who is looking to continue their athletic career, as well as study in literally anything you want, Viterbo is a really great place for you to consider. We do have a 4-year graduation guarantee. So even our student athletes that are studying engineering are able to graduate within that 4-year timeframe. I've been a resident of the La Crosse area for about 8 years now. It is an amazing place to get to live and to go to school. We have a vibrant downtown area. We actually got the #1 ranked college town in Wisconsin, according to AIER. And so that's something that is really, really cool for us to have and see. You can see it's our campus is located in a really beautiful area of the state. There's these beautiful bluffs that lead right kind of down into the La Crosse city. So our campus is down there. And then of course, the Mississippi River is on the other side of these bluffs. So it's a really amazing place if you're into hiking or any kind of outdoor activities. Here we have a list of all of our different academic majors. Some of the most popular ones would include nursing. We have a top 30 music theater program. Our pre-health professional tracks are outstanding. It's also worth noting that all of our business related programs do have a guaranteed paid internship as a part of the program. And so regardless of what you want to study, just know that at Viterbo, there's something to love with all of our programs that we have to offer. Like many other private schools, we also offer academic merit scholarships. So you can see kind of the range here going from 10 to 16. These are going to be based on your transcript when you send in your GPA. And then it's also going to potentially be dictated by your ACT scores. We are a test optional school. The only way we would ever really use your scores would be if it increases your academic merit award. So we'll always take the higher of the two there. So far, I've been talking to you a lot about kind of the what and the how in terms of Viterbo, our numbers, our stats, all these different things. And I want to kind of close out my presentation here by talking a little bit about kind of why we do what we do here. And so if there's one thing you kind of take away and remember about Viterbo University, it is that we are a set of values within a mission that just happens to kind of be executed and done through a school. And so you can see we have our Viterbo values up here: contemplation, hospitality, integrity, stewardship, and service. These are values that we practice not only in the classroom, but outside of it as well. You're going to find that Viterbo University is not only a place for you to study what you want to study, but it's also going to be a school that prepares you for ethical servant leadership when you graduate and move on into the world and you are serving others, whether it be as a nurse or a teacher, excuse me, or as a business person. And so again, that idea of servant leadership is something that is going to be very important during your time here at Viterbo. We have a saying here that service is love made visible. And so that is something that we try to practice both inside and outside of the classroom, so that again, when you go off into the world, you've not only studied something that you're passionate about, but you're able to channel those passions and try to make our world a better place. The final slide that I have here is just some contact information. You're more than welcome to call, text, email me. And then of course I have our visit link on there as well. We are accepting applications still for the class of, or for this coming fall, for fall 2022. And for those of you that are juniors watching this, July 1st of 2022 is when the application will become available for you to fill out. We are rolling admission. So if you apply on a Monday and you can get us all of your materials, you might even find out on Wednesday or Thursday that you've been admitted. So kind of a quick turnaround there. So that will kind of conclude what I have to say today. Thank you all so much for being here, and I will yield the rest of my time. Thank you.
Thanks so much. All right, next up we have Marquette University.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So good evening, everyone. My name is Rosa Glombicki. I am the Chicago Regional Representative for Marquette University, and I do work directly with all students from St. Ignatius College Prep. So I'm really excited to be here tonight. I kind of serve as that built-in resource here in the Chicagoland area, and I am your specific counselor. A little bit about Marquette University, if you are not familiar. So we are a Catholic Jesuit university. So you may know a little something about those Jesuit values, but we definitely run under those same core tenets, those same core values, especially the Jesuit value of being men and women for and with others, and that cura personalis, that care for the whole person. And so if you don't know about Marquette, we are definitely considered to be more of a medium-sized institution. And I really do think that lends itself for our students to have a lot of big school experiences, but then small school perks. So big school experiences are things like our undergraduate population is about 8,000 students, but then our student to faculty ratio is only about 14:1. The average class is only about 23. So when you walk into a classroom, your professor is going to know who you are by name. But then that Saturday night, you could be in the Fiserv Forum, which is where the Milwaukee Bucks play, the NBA champions. That's also where our Marquette men's basketball team plays. And we pack out that stadium with 18,000 people for a game day. So if you're looking for kind of that balance between big and small, Marquette is definitely a great place to be for that. Another great way that we kind of represent that bigger feel is that we are located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So we definitely have more of that urban feeling campus, which I'll talk about in just a second. And then we have over 325 different student clubs and organizations. So anything from service-oriented clubs and organizations, which is really important to us here at Marquette, to student government, to a coffee drinkers club, to intramural sports, club sports, theater, music, improv comedy, whatever it is that you have an interest in, different cultural and ethnic clubs and organizations, a lot of ways that our students find that culture of inclusivity available on our campus. The one stat I skipped over was academics, because I wanted to show you this slide. So we here at Marquette are what's considered to be a direct admit university. So what that means is rather than applying to Marquette just generally, you're going to apply to be admitted directly to one of our 7 colleges. So you can see those listed on the right side of the screen: the College of Arts and Sciences, the College of Business Administration, Communication, Education, Engineering, Health Sciences, and Nursing. And then in addition to those 7 undergraduate colleges, we also offer a graduate school, as well as the only dental school in the state of Wisconsin. And we do also have our own law school as well. So for students who are already forward thinking about wanting to obtain their master's degree, their doctorate level degree, we have many accelerated degree programs that allow students to be able to do that within only about an additional year, or maybe 2 years, maybe even 3 in the case of physical therapy, law, etc. So we definitely have a lot of those really strong academic programs, and Marquette certainly has a strong reputation in the Milwaukee community, in the Midwest, but also all over the country. We have about 140,000 alumni spread out all over the country. And one just genuine theme that I get whenever I interact with alumni is how much they care about the university, what a wonderful experience they had, the school spirit that they have surrounding their Marquette experience, and how much they want to give back. And that's what our students do. They learn how to be these ethical leaders that are going to go out and be the difference in their world as well. Like I mentioned, we are located right in the backyard of Milwaukee. So Milwaukee is able to be an extension of your classroom experience with different internships, networking experiences with Fortune 500 companies, with locally owned businesses, etc. But then Milwaukee is able to also be an extension of your campus life and your social life. So in addition to those 325 different student clubs and organizations, students are able to go to Summerfest or different festivals that happen, try fun new restaurants, be able to just really explore the city, go to Brewers games, see them play the Cubs, whoever you might be rooting for. It's always a good time. Students, if you're interested in learning more about Marquette, a great way to do that, I know it sounds a little silly, is just to follow us on social media. So if you want to scan that QR code, that's going to be a great way to follow us. We have student takeovers, and that's going to be a great way to just keep in mind upcoming deadlines and things like that as well. So I'd really highly encourage you to follow us on social media. And then the last thing I want to share, especially because I'm sure a lot of students who are on with us today are maybe sophomores, juniors, are going to be thinking about applying to Marquette within the next year or so. So it's really important to know that we have a regular decision deadline of December 1st. And like I said, because we are direct admit, we only admit on a space available and rolling basis after December 1. But when a student applies and is admitted, they will receive their Pair Marquette merit-based scholarship in that acceptance letter. And we also offer specifically for students who are graduating from a Jesuit high school an additional $2,000 scholarship. So like I said, I will be your counselor that's walking you through this entire application process. This is my contact information. I'll also put it into the chat. I think that is my time, but just let us know whatever questions you have for me in the Q&A. I am happy to help with. Thanks so much and have a great night.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, at this point, I'd like to invite all of the presenters back onto screen so we can hear from you one more time. Okay, great. Welcome back. So I'd like to ask one, maybe two questions. We'll see what time we have. But my first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the search process now? And I'm going to ask DePaul University to go first.
So really great question, and maybe somewhat of a common one. And my answer might sound a little bit silly, but really just ask a lot of questions. Even if you think that you don't even have questions to ask, maybe you don't know what you want to study yet, or know what type of school you want to be at, or even have really specific interests molded yet, that's okay. Your questions are valid no matter what they are, and we love to hear from you. And it's funny because I always joke about this, but I'm really serious. Students all the time apologize when they do have a lot of questions. And I always tell them it's literally my whole job to answer your questions. So just ask.
That's awesome. Thank you. Lake Forest College, what is your advice?
Yeah, I just kind of go off of that. I think as counselors, we're kind of just like the first point of contact for our students, right? But I'm always asking students to make sure that if you want to connect with a current student, you want to connect with a professor, anyone else from the campus community, just let me know. I'm happy to be that connection point and just kind of helping you connect with the right people on campus to give you different perspectives that are going to be helpful for you in your college search process.
Awesome. Thank you. Loyola University, Chicago, what is your advice?
My advice is to get on a campus. I think that you have a ton of schools local where even if you are like, I am not going to college in the Chicagoland area, like that is totally fine. But you can start stepping onto small schools, big schools, state schools, private schools, like all of these different options where I benefited from having two older siblings, but I can't think about knowing what I needed from a college until I started that process of stepping onto a campus and having a gut reaction of, oh, this immediate feedback of like, I like this, I don't like this. And you can't be on a website and try to get that same reaction. You really do need to be on the campus before you can even start to figure out what your filters are. So even if you're not going local, step on local campuses so that your filter can help you narrow down the schools that you're looking at farther away too.
That's great advice. Thank you. All right, St. Xavier, what is your advice?
Yeah, I would advise people or students to think about what it is they want out of their college experience. Maybe take the time to write out a list of things that you want. Of course, a lot of big choices are made based off of if the school has your major and if you're getting a good financial aid package. But you also want to consider, is the school diverse and will you fit in, and where will you fit in, and just kind of consider those things and look into those things, and kind of bouncing off of what everyone has said, ask those questions and figure those things out so that you can make the best decision for yourself, and so you can succeed hopefully at that school as you make that decision and attend.
Wonderful. Thank you. Viterbo University, what is your advice?
Yeah, so my number one piece of advice would be to apply to as many scholarships as you can. Even if, and I really try to think of it like a job too. If it takes you an hour of searching and applying to even win $50, that's more than what most jobs pay. And $50, I think everyone here would agree, is a pretty small amount of scholarship money too. So continue to search and try to find those scholarships. They really will pay off for you.
Awesome. Thank you. And Marquette, what is your advice?
Yeah, I would echo everything that has been said. I think definitely that gut feeling of getting onto campuses, start doing that right away. To not copycat what everybody else said, I think that I would just say, I see a lot of students putting a lot of stress on themselves when they wait until the last minute to start getting into an application and really understanding the pieces that they need to put together to complete that puzzle. And that's undue stress. You are here tonight, so you're already taking that first step to understand what are maybe the elements of an application that you need to start thinking about. Maybe you can start drafting an essay, or maybe you can start thinking about those teachers that would be able to write recommendations, or whatever it might be. So just start thinking about those things early. Start thinking about your authentic stories and your authentic self that you would want to share in your essay and your activities. That way it doesn't sneak up on you.
Absolutely. All great advice. Thanks. All right. One more quick question for you. What is one thing you want students to remember about your school specifically? And we'll jump back to DePaul.
Still takes me a second to find the mute button, even though we've been doing this for 2 years. It's bad. This is actually something that I didn't talk about during my 6 minutes, but it's something that a lot of the other schools touched on when discussing their mission and values. And the Catholic and Vincentian mission at DePaul is a really important part of the student experience, but also just the overall community that we have here on campus. About a third of our students identify as Catholic, so this isn't an exclusively Catholic mission or exclusively Catholic value, but a question that our community often asks ourselves and each other is, what must be done? It's a question that St. Vincent de Paul asked, and we still ask ourselves in our daily life. And it's really resulted in a community that cares for one another and the communities around us, and is focused on creating the conscientious leaders of tomorrow. So that's a really nice community to be a part of, a community that actually authentically cares for one another. So that's one piece. And then the other piece that I would say that's really great about DePaul and a lot of the other schools here today is that the city really is your campus. I really can't stress enough how many opportunities that brings and how much career preparedness that sets you up for, and really something to consider as you think about not only your college degree, but what your professional career is going to look like beyond that.
Thank you so much. Lake Forest.
Yeah, and I kind of talked about this a little bit in my presentation, but I mean, we are a very small school. We have about 1,600 students, like I mentioned, but it really is for a reason, right? We really do emphasize that individualized attention, including the relationship our students make with professors early on. I like to say our professors are, doing double duty. You're going to be, receiving or scheduling your classes each semester with them. And that's going to be throughout your 4 years at our college, right? And another piece of, or another section of that too, is that, but yeah, so that's just one of the pieces that I have, I would say.
Perfect. Thank you. Loyola.
Yeah, I think that my favorite part about being a Loyola student was the balance. I think that the idea of best of both worlds is in so many places on campus. We're mid-sized, so small in the class, but big in social life. And you have a traditional college campus with immediate access to the city. And so it just allows you to have so much control over your college experience and allows that to change as your interests evolve as well. And so it just gives you this choose your own adventure that's really great for students.
Thank you. St. Xavier?
Yeah, a lot of what has been said is so true, and I, feel the same in a lot of aspects to that, especially with just a really great community, not only within the university, but even outside of it. A lot of people in the neighborhood of St. Xavier really loves the school or has been to the school. So even that support system from outside of the university creates such a welcoming environment and supportive environment to our students. So community is really something I think that you should take away and understand that that's a really big part of who. And I know a lot of the schools on the call today have a very similar feedback or similar ideals in terms of what their schools offer, but that is definitely something I would encourage you to take away.
Great, thank you. Viterbo?
Yeah, I know a lot of people have kind of talked already about like going to visit campuses and things like that. So one thing that I would like to just kind of plug about us would be that I think most, if not all the people watching this are from Illinois, we are offering visit vouchers, so we can reimburse you for up to $200 for your travel to come up to La Crosse and visit our campus. And so we would love to see you here. And for those of you that are seniors and have been admitted, we do have Accepted Student Day coming up April 2nd. So great time to use that visit voucher. So let me know if you have any questions about it. But yeah, we'd love to see you up here.
Awesome, thank you. And Marquette?
All right, so I think one thing that I would just really drive home about Marquette is just the community feel, and that when you decide to become a student at Marquette, you're not just there for the 4 years that you're there. You are joining this Marquette legacy. You are joining this Marquette family, and it is a lifelong thing. And that's something that really struck me, because full disclosure, I did not go to Marquette, and sometimes I'm kind of actually like upset that I didn't go to Marquette, because all these alumni are having these amazing stories to tell, and you can just tell the genuine love and care that they have for the university, and that really speaks a lot to the type of student experience you're going to be able to have at Marquette. And then that also benefits our current students, because like we have this incredible alumni program. It's called Marquette Mentors. And it's this incredible program where students are in like a specific mentorship relationship with someone who's in their field for a year. And oftentimes those partnerships and those mentorship relationships result in lifelong friendships, but then also maybe even jobs or additional internships or things like that. So a Marquette education means something, and I think that the community of Marquette alumni really prove that, and just the insane school spirit and energy and excitement that I think comes along with being a part of the Marquette family.
That's great. Thank you so much. All righty, awesome. Well, I want to send a big thank you shout out to all the presenters who have put all this information together for us and spent their evening with us, and to the participants for also spending your evening here with us today. So when you close this window, there will be a quick 5-question survey. If you don't mind filling that out, we really appreciate any feedback you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule. That was the end of the schedule. So if there was something that you missed or that you want to come back to, we did record all of the sessions. So you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other ones at strivescan.com/Ignatius. And with that, we conclude our program. So thank you so much again for spending the evening with us. Have a great one. Bye-bye.